This is the Epson EcoTank ET-3760, the first printer that let me stop thinking about ink and just print whenever I needed. The biggest win for me is simple. I refill the tanks every once in a long while, and day to day, I do not worry about cartridges or whether I can squeeze out one more page. I would put this in the cartridge-free color all in one category. It prints, scans, and copies, and it is aimed at people like me who handle a steady flow of documents at home or in a small office. If you have kids with school packets, if you do remote work that involves contracts, if you make the occasional flyer, or if you simply want a reliable machine that does not nag you about low ink, this fits that lane really well. The design is straightforward and practical. The refillable tanks are up front where I can actually see the ink levels without digging through a menu. I appreciate that more than I expected because it turns ink from a mystery into something I can glance at and forget. The paper tray lives in the base and holds a proper stack, so I am not constantly reloading. The scanner bed sits under an auto document feeder on top. The control area has a small color screen with physical buttons. It is not a giant touch screen, but it is bright enough, and I can operate it with muscle memory after a few days. The whole unit is compact for what it does. It fits on a standard desk without hogging the space, and the matte finish hides fingerprints. The lid has enough flex to handle a thin notebook, although it will not flatten a thick book, which is something to keep in mind. Setup was easier than the average printer for me, especially the ink part. The bottles are keyed to their color tanks, and they only flow when seated correctly, so I did not end up with a rainbow on my countertop. Filling each tank took a few minutes with no squeezing, and the flow stops automatically when the tank is full. The priming process took a little while, which is normal, and then it walked me through connecting to my network. I tried both wireless and a cable with Ethernet, and both worked without drama. The Epson Smart Panel application on my phone guided me through the steps better than most printer software I have used. It found the device, finished the setup, and let me run a quick nozzle check without digging around. Firmware and maintenance tools are there too, which is helpful later on. Day to day, it wakes quickly, especially after short idle periods. Print jobs start within a moment or two, and the lag between pages is minimal for text. Two-sided printing is slower, as expected, but it is smooth and reliable. The auto document feeder handles multi-page scans and copies without me babysitting each sheet. It does not do two-sided scanning automatically, so when I need both sides I flip the stack and run it again. The little color screen is not touch, which makes typing a long wireless password with arrow keys a bit tedious at first, but once it is set, I rarely need to enter text again. Noise levels are very manageable. I can take a call in the same room while it prints. You hear a soft mechanical rhythm rather than a harsh buzz. Print quality is where it surprised me. For text on plain paper, the black is dense and crisp. Highlighters do not smudge it, which tells me the pigment black ink is doing its job. For color documents, charts, and light graphics, the output looks clean with accurate tones. I would not replace a dedicated photo printer with this if my main goal was gallery-grade prints, but glossy photos of family and vacation shots look genuinely nice to my eye. Skin tones are natural, and there is none of that waxy look I used to see on cheaper inkjets. The PrecisionCore heat-free technology seems to help with consistency. There is no long warm-up, and I have not seen banding on normal jobs. On very heavy coverage pages, I can see the paper curl a little, which is common for inkjet, but it flattens after a bit. I pushed it through a handful of real projects. I printed a week of school packets, about 40 pages with mixed text and color diagrams. Those came out clean, and two-sided saved me a decent stack of paper. I ran a batch of shipping labels on plain paper and on adhesive sheets. The barcodes scanned on the first try at the store, and the edges were sharp enough to leave no doubt. I also tried a short presentation with full-page color backgrounds. That took longer per page and used more ink, but the colors were even with no streaks. For scanning, I digitized a folder of old receipts. The auto document feeder pulled the slightly wrinkled ones without jamming, but I had to flatten the most curled ones by hand first. The resulting portable document files were clear and easy to read. For a photo test, I printed several images on glossy letter-size paper. The detail looked good, especially in midtones. Blacks were deep enough for casual framing, though not the same as a 6-color photo machine, which is expected. One scenario where it really earned its place was tax season. I had a mix of bank statements, contractor forms, and a handful of signed documents to scan back and archive. I loaded stacks into the feeder, scanned to my computer over wireless, and named everything as I went. When I noticed a signature page on the back of one form, I flipped the pile for the second pass. It was still faster than placing each page on the flatbed. Then I printed final copies two-sided for my records. The whole flow felt solid, and I did not worry about ink levels once. There are a few thoughtful touches that improved my routine. The visible ink tanks remove the anxiety of guessing how much is left. The two-sided printing saves paper without me flipping stacks by hand. The ability to print from my phone through the Epson application has been rock steady. I can open a message attachment or a cloud document and send it directly. The printer wakes up on its own and starts the job. I also tried voice-activated printing for a quick shopping list and a coloring page for my niece. Saying it out loud and hearing it start in the other room feels a little futuristic, and it worked as long as the printer was on the network. The standby mode is efficient, and it wakes up without a fuss. A small but real benefit is how rarely I have to think about maintenance. After 2 weeks of not printing, I ran a test page and the nozzles were fine. I have only needed one light cleaning so far, and it was quick. It is not perfect. The control screen would be nicer as a touch screen to speed up text entry and navigation, and the angle adjustment is a little limited if the printer sits low on a shelf. The auto document feeder is single-sided, which means more steps for two-sided scanning. Photo prints are good for an office-oriented machine, but if your priority is exhibition-quality photos, you will want a dedicated photo printer. Also, the adjustable paper guides in the tray feel a little stiff. They hold the stack firmly, but when I switch between envelopes and letter paper, I have to be deliberate. With those trade-offs, I still find myself recommending it to anyone who prints regularly and is tired of cartridge drama. The combination of refillable tanks, predictable output, and uncomplicated reliability has been a real upgrade for my workflow. I like that I can glance at the front of the machine and know my ink situation. I like that a long print job does not mean babysitting a flaky wireless connection. I like that I can send a document from my phone while making coffee and pick it up on my way out the door. If you are a parent managing school forms, a remote worker printing and scanning contracts, or a creative person who needs dependable color for flyers and light photo work, this is a strong choice. If you print once in a blue moon, you might not take full advantage of the supertank system, and you should at least run a page every so often to keep the heads happy. If you want professional photo prints or lightning-fast laser speeds, look at specialized options. For everyone else, this strikes a really practical balance. That is my experience with the Epson EcoTank ET-3760. If this video helped you, please subscribe to the channel, drop your questions or your own experience in the comments, and I will do my best to reply. Thank you for watching.